I
Oh
mean, I
my,
want to be totally out of the city.
I totally agree with you.
I'm so burned out on it, I can hardly stand it.
Yeah, I was trying to protest my property taxes out here in Texas, and I sent them different codes and statutes, a whole thing. They're like they're trying to send me a certified letter. Basically, the appraisal district is trying to tell me that they're not the one to assess they're the ones who assess the value on the home. And then, just going back and forth. I just about had it with this place.
I think Texas is a tough cookie, but do you have a land patent?
Well, here's the thing, okay? So I got I went to the Bureau of Land Management. I have my got my brain froze. I got the oh Lord, what is it called? No, um the land patent. I got the documents, right? And
Yeah.
so I tried to record it back in October. They refused to let me do that. So now I'm just, trying to figure out. I'm
You
just trying to.
cannot record a land patent. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
You're not buying a land patent, you're buying patented land.
Mm.
This is land that was deemed for we the people in the Public Land Act of 1820. So what you do is you record a quick claim deed that you have brought the land patent terms and conditions forward to it.
Now, can I still do that if I still have a mortgage?
Mortgage has that's actually fake. Has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and I look, I know that 100%. I really do. I'm just trying to really continue to study and continue to push forward because I need to know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to put myself or my family, my kids, in a position where we don't have a home because I need to know how to combat.
Well,
So,
um, anytime you give money, you're contracting, but you can make gifts. I'm not saying that you do either that either. I'm fighting mine because they want to charge me for water. And I asked them, at what stage do you claim to own the water? Is it during the evaporation rate
mm,
or is it after it's come down from the evaporation in the form of rain or snow? So are you claiming to own the snow? Because the water belongs to us. You read the land patent, all of the roads that you are traveling on are the right of ways that are afforded to you through the land patent. Because every living thing, that's everything with a DNA, has to have water. It all has to have water. Plants, bugs, birds, you, me, it all has, they cannot stop you from getting to water. The land patent on that, and it's granting you immunity. And what is the definition of immunity? Freedom of obligation and penalty. These are bloodsuckers that we will wind up pounding into the sand. Now, with your mortgage, did you check to see? Because contracts are not transferable. So, how many times have they sold that mortgage?
I'm my home of April of 2021, and it was one mortgage company, and now it's with Loan Care.
It's not transferable. And if you go to the, what is it? I think it's called the Security Exchange, because your promissory note, that's your autograph on that pledge. It's only a pledge unless it's got their autograph and yours, right? It's not a contract unless there's two people agreeing. It's just a pledge. That's a security because you're the creditor, they're the debtor. They have nothing unless they can get it from suck it out of us, right?
Right.
So that's a security now. So I think you can check on the Security Exchange and see how many times they've sold it. And I don't think they can sell it unless it's paid off. Well, if it's paid off, then why are they still charging you? Do you follow me with that train of thought?
Absolutely.
We're investigating this on Wednesday night with the Truth in Lending Act.
Okay.
And so that's going to be, I try to stay on one topic, like today's on tickets. Wednesday, we'll brainstorm on the truth in lending. But someone did call me on Sunday and say that they do believe that transaction that goes through, and you find this on the Trade Commission site, right? Federal Trade Commission under staff guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
When they go in and take your promissory note, which then allows them to collect finance charge, that means everything they need along with the amount for the real property. Everything else they're charging you is fake bullshit, right? To get money in their pocket.
Yeah.
Then they are supposed to write you a check. This is what we're going to confirm.
All right,
So
cool.
write you a check for what they took out of your trust. You take it to your bank and you make the payments out of that. That's what we're going to follow up on, because it appears as though that's what the Federal Trade Commission is saying, and Truth in Lending. So that's what we're going to be studying.
Okay.
These guys are scoundrels. What?
Oh yeah, well I've actually been studying, and I've actually working. I've have some letters that are drafted now. What I was looking at, the right to rescission on a lot of these contracts, especially auto loans, I'm not seeing that we have a right to rescission and or a cooling off period. That usually is for like mortgage, this and that. So I've drafted some letters, different things, and I'll probably share with the group as far as auto loans go. Now I know down payment is supposed to be included with
In the finance
all
charge.
the sum, right, with the sum of all charges.
Yes, that's the
So
finance charge. You're absolutely right.
yeah, so I've just been studying. Raul, he fielded me. I had taken his information, but I lost his number.
Is
No,
that my Raul?
absolutely.
I was just on
Hey,
the phone with
Raul,
him.
you know what it was? 'Cause, y'all are on California time, and we have a newborn. So I had fell asleep during the group, so I wasn't trying to. When I woke up, y'all were still talking and pouring out so much information. So it's been a blessing.
Well, now check out the PDF file that I just sent you. You're gonna even flip even more when you read that PDF file, because those are the rules and regulations that they have to follow with the Federal Trade Commission. So if you go right there, you're gonna even understand even more why they have to, what they have to do. I just shared that file with you.
So, Raul, can I let you be the host for right now? Because I believe this has everything to do with tickets. You can't get a ticket unless you're in a car. Do you follow my path? This has everything to do with tickets and cars. And would you like to share on that a bit, Raul?
Well,
and I'll give you the.
I'm not too far. I try to stay away from tickets. I'm not even familiar with the tickets. But
but no, this class is on tickets. This Zoom, I mean.
oh,
But
okay.
I think having a car and having the rights to a car, which you're sharing, leads us into the bogus ticket giving bullshit that keeps going on with criminals.
Yeah. Well, what it is, you guys have to opt out of certain situations. So if you opt out, even better with look into first what's it called?
Decision?
No. You have to opt out of certain information that that do not allow your information to be out there. So when you're writing,
Well, you're talking about Fourth Amendment privacy rights.
yes, remember that we did that the last time, opting
Yes.
out. Okay, with what's it called, LexisNexis?
Yes.
Yes, those information are very very important. I mean, those are the ones that you need to actually address. But that PDF file that I just sent, I put down in the on the chat. Download it. That actually is going to tell you every little single thing on how it's supposed to be they supposed to be conducting, and the lies that they do on the contracts. And you're gonna see
You're talking about the staff guidelines one. This is the one we were talking about this morning?
Yes, that's the one.
All right.
That one is very 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 interesting, because they don't tell you, they don't this is the documents that they don't share with you, because if they share this information with you, I mean, you let all the secrets out. This one actually is going to tell you every little single thing of of what they have to follow on the contracts. And there's some more information that I've been conducting and actually following, because the truth in lending can tell you everything, but you have to find a way how to put these people that you are, that there is a lot of actually a lot of errors in a lot of how you say that word, there's a lot of fraud in in those contracts, and
Well,
that
doesn't
right there tells you
Ra-
everything.
Raul, that isn't the discovery of fraud, which there is no statute of limitation on fraud. Let's say 6 years down the road, you discovered a fraud. You can still then exercise rescission. Can you
Yes,
not?
yes, you can. Yes, you can. I mean, well, actually, I believe you have 3 years. Because once they there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things because they have to follow rules and regulations. Like for example, if they send your documentation to a charge off, that's another one. That's another violation because they need to provide you with a 1099 A and 1099 C. And well, actually, the 1099 C, they have to provide you with that one, and they don't do that. They are posting this information in your consumer credit report, and they haven't even provided you with a 1099-C. So that's another one. That's another one that they are doing fraud on it. You have to call those. Basically, what you have to do there is actually contact the city attorney general and let them know, hey, I have this company addressing a 1099-A, I mean a 1099-C, and I have received those documents, and I think there's an error, and they don't want to comply on it. And I think that that's the way you have to do it, but I'm not sure. I've never done it. So once you let them know that you have that, I mean, you have to understand that if they put a 1099-C in your consumer credit report, that means that information has been paid already. They don't supposed to be sharing no information at all. So I don't understand. And plus, the credit bureaus should not be actually posting information either way about any business that you conduct with any creditor or lender. So they should not be posting information like that. So I don't know. I mean, you guys have to do your reading and understand. And everything is right there. I just send it. I just send it to you, the staff guidance. So read that part. It's not that long. It's very short, and everybody needs to follow those.
So, um, so anyway, let's get back to getting a ticket. Let me see how I want to do this. Everything that Raul's sharing is part of this whole part of thing, because without, it's all about that car and them pulling you over in the car, or they don't pull you over when you're walking. At least I hope they're not. But so first I want to say to you, if you read the land patent, you're going to see that all of the right-of-ways and easements are covered by the patent, because they're all getting you to somewhere that you need to survive in life, even if it's just fast food. But remember, when these things were created in 1820, there was no fast food, okay? And back then, they didn't have well digging equipment, and you needed to be able to get to water if your land did not have water. So, and then of course, when you read the meets and bounds, everyone's boundary goes all the way up to their next door neighbor. So unless you allocate an easement to your convenience within reason, because it's got to hook on to the next guy who's going to allocate, then you're trespassing, and or you cannot leave your land. Because when the Survey General plotted out land, it went right up to the border. It was up to we the people as it says on the land patent, the customs of the people in your community to assert which makes sense on right-of-ways to get from Bert's house all the way over to Tommy's house 5 miles down. That's something that we did. And if you go to Lucerne Valley, I have 90 acres. They keep going through the middle because it's a shortcut. When I put the fence up, then that'll stop. But that's because I've already allocated all of the roads that surround my 90 acres are on my land. So I'm already giving them a right of way, which I don't have a problem with that. So knowing that, you already know that that instrument protects you on the roads, and these pirates can't even touch you. So let me ask you this: in the land patent group and some other groups, I posted a link to a guy that has a video. Did y'all get to listen to him?
I
Today,
did.
guys?
I did.
He had some pretty good information, don't you think?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Yep.
So I've listened to him several times. So when we do get a ticket, the ticket is the first notice of the court. So I would use the ticket instead of signing your name, put something like requesting subrogation or anything like that without except for your name, because that's the first notice of the court. And then
Well,
as soon
here's the thing on that, Rebecca.
okay, go right ahead.
Anything we put on there is acknowledgement. Remember back in the day when people couldn't spell or write, they just put a mark. You mark that paper, that's a signature.
So
So,
you're saying don't do anything.
well, they'll just put on there refuse. I would just put under duress UCC 1-308, and that reserves all rights. And then as soon as that cop hands that ticket to you, take a red Sharpie out, and you write rescind offer to contract. Take it right to the court.
Okay.
Because that's just an offer to contract is all it is.
And then, okay, so let's follow this through. You go ahead and take it to the court. Then what happens if they send you a notification through the trusted mailman?
Well, just rescind that offer to contract.
That's fraud
It's just,
too.
yeah, that becomes wire fraud on their behalf.
That becomes what?
So, wire fraud. They're sending it through the mail.
Oh, threats to the mail, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's what I've been doing with the county code enforcement, you know.
Yes. I made some stuff and I just pasted to it.
Going back to right of ways and stuff. If you give up or allow somebody to use a right of way, whether you've did it in writing or not, but once it's been used by the public for so long, it becomes public right of way. Like the guy that has the huge ranch here, well, right underneath the Klamathon Bridge is a boat launch. He owns that property, but it's been used for so long for everybody to get their water without getting in to his pastures. Now it's a right of way, and if you don't respect his wishes and keep the place clean, he can trespass you there because it's still his property, but he can't stop you from navigating to the river.
Yes. I think that's the same that goes on in a strip mall, right? They have a parking lot now. So they've increased access to get to the commerce that's going on. And
Yeah.
it does have allowances for the public, but they can restrict it also, where there's no one can be here at night. You can't park overnight because you still
Yeah, as
own the
long as
land.
businesses are open. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you still own the land.
if you dive deep into that, because they're under commerce and commerce is federally regulated, uh, like with the mask thing and stuff, if you didn't want to wear a mask and they would trespass you from the property, that's actually illegal because they're involved in commerce. And by them being federally regulated, they cannot discriminate whether you wear a mask or not.
That's true, but a lot of these people don't know
Yeah,
what their rights are. They just don't know what their rights are, and that's why I guess we have the Zooms.
yeah.
We'll leave
So
that, Rebecca. I think they're saying that there's somebody waiting in the.
I'm here and I don't see anyone waiting.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Oh,
here. I'm inside the
and also
participant room.
To Richelle, I send you the number that you need. If she can hear me.
I'm gonna send you a text here in a sec.
Yeah, I cannot hear you. What was that again?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna send you a text here in a little bit.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And also, if you guys are wanting to, I can put up some PDFs with in regards to some stuff, or Raul, I'll send it to you and you look through it first.
This is open forum. You can do what you want to do. We have been cheated for thousands of years. It's going to take all of our brain as a hard drive where this guy studies this part, this guy studies this part, and then we're like pieces of a puzzle that we come together to bring it, because we got to make up for a lot of lost time and a big scam. So if you have something to bring to the Zoom, I ask you, please bring it to the Zoom,
I want
because
to
we have
mention.
to learn from each other.
I wanted to mention. Sorry, Ralph, about interrupting you. I'm very sorry.
Oh, no problem, man. I was finished.
So is that Rachel that was speaking? Did you want to share something, Rachel?
Yeah, I was just like, once I kind of been doing it, but I've been just studying pertaining to the right to rescission and
You coming in and out. We can hardly hear you.
okay, hold on one sec. Can you hear me now? Okay,
Yes,
cool.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
So
Yeah, we can hear
basically, okay, I've been studying on the right to rescission, and one thing I've been noticing, I haven't really seen for auto. It's not really required for auto, more so for mortgage. And then there's a clause in the CFPB where they say, yeah, like 3 years. So I want to know, okay, past that, or what are you looking at?
With autos, you have up to 72 hours. But thinking on this with what Raul's sharing with us, because it's all fraud. There is no statute of limitations on fraud, none.
Well, actually, I actually sent the finance company some documents, which I'll share with you guys. Not mine, but what I created, and they actually disabled my vehicle about a week ago with their GPS system. And
Are
I
you
was,
shitting me?
it was 100 and something degrees outside, and I asked the finance guy, so why did you guys do that? They said, oh, we thought that you were counting your contract.
Oh, if you have a tracking device in your vehicle, go in the bottom of it, disconnect that shit. I disconnected in mine. They cannot track me no longer. So you can just disconnect it. You pay for it. So you pay for it. You can disconnect it anytime you want to. They cannot tell you anything about it. And
Well,
also,
yeah.
yeah, and also the right of rescission. You can implant the right of rescission because in the day when you were creating actually that contract, they do not provide you with the documentations. they'll keep it away from you because they want you to keep the vehicle. They don't want you to actually come back and get the, get that money or get that exchange of that vehicle. So they don't provide you with that documentation, which they should provide you with the documentation of the right of the rescission, which is I believe it's 3 days. Once you purchase a vehicle, you got like 3 days to come or a week maybe to come back, and if you're not satisfied with the vehicle, you can actually exchange it to another one, which they don't do that either.
Yeah, it's
Well,
3 business days.
yeah,
Doesn't count weekends or holidays.
exactly. So they keep that document. They don't give it to you, and then they'll give you the contract. They give you everything else with the truth in lending, but part of the truth in lending, which actually they don't sit down and actually explain it to you, because they have to go detail by detail. If you understand what you're getting into that contract, which they don't either, they're trying to rush you in, sign it, and get the hell out of here, which it doesn't work like that. So that's another one. There's a lot of violations in there. If you look at carefully your contract, you're gonna see actually where those violations. And actually, that document that I just sent you on the PDF file is gonna tell you how to follow that. Well, not how to follow it, but actually part of that contract shows in there. So there's some little keys in there that is actually showing in the contract, which I already found one of them, which actually they're totally screwed with me because they cannot actually prevent you from coming back and getting your money back. If you
Now,
see,
may I interrupt? Will you please share with her when you played for me the financing thing? Remember, he's got this device that it'll read it for him.
let me share the screen so I can share it with her real quick.
Okay, so I'm going to make you the host, right?
That's correct, ma'am. So she can understand in the contract
And
where
then I'll
she had
make
to look.
Rachel the host so she can share her documents if you want. Okay, go right ahead.
Hold on, let me open the PDF file.
You've been reading too much, dude. You look tired.
Hey, no shit, tell me about it. Hold on.
It's
Oh,
like
you're
Bobby Lawrence says, you read till your eyes are red and bleeding, and then you read some more.
yeah. Sometimes I get out of here. And my wife look at my eyes and go, "You been smoking weed?" I go, "No, no, it's just normal me."
Well, I
Hold
looked
on,
at it's called Text to Read. It's an app,
that's correct.
and I'm going to see if I can't put it on my tablet.
This document right here that I'm about to show you, which is this one, Ralph. If you have the time and if go to the message, download this file. You're gonna find it very interesting. So I highlighted part of it. So the file that you need to look into is this one right here. If you look on your contract, one of the this is the instructions. They did there is a little check box in
I
your.
don't see it in the chat.
You don't see it? Let me see. Hold on.
It's still loading.
Oh, it's still
It's a
Oh,
loading.
big
okay.
PDF.
I took it off. I
Oh,
took it off.
okay.
Hold on. Let me go back in there again. Yeah. There you go.
I
Do you
got
see it?
I got a notice on my phone. I gotta reorganize my data. I gotta send some stuff to the cloud. I've got so much stuff in here, you know.
I
So
know.
so if you carefully look, I'm gonna play this for you guys. Really, 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 really quick. And tell me if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
No.
No.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, because I cannot even controller. Well, I can. You guys cannot hear it, right?
No, but I think that file is too big, Ralph. It won't. Is it the big PDF?
Yeah.
You can only
Uh,
do one page at a time on Zoom. It's a great little
Oh,
app,
okay.
but it's very limited.
yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can actually pull it up here. So this.
Yeah, I'll
Again,
post I'll post my email if you want. You could email it to me if you have time.
oh, okay. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. What? How did I do it last time, Rebecca? Because
Did you share this before?
what was that again?
You were sharing a website. You weren't sharing a PDF.
No, the way that this information was supposed to be read, I did it somehow. I said more. Let me see. Record, computer, culture. No.
I
Um,
think you just have to do it as noise in the background.
I did it, but I don't know how to. Let me see. Um, participants. Yeah, I've got no idea. But
You
participant.
can't put it uh up to your mic.
I was doing it the other day. I don't know why it's not doing it now. I got no idea. I had the host. Hold on. No, I cannot do it no longer. But let me share that again. Let me see if I can pull it up again. Hold on. Oh yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I know it's kind of weird because the last time me and you were doing it and it was playing along.
Yeah, but we do it when you are one and one on the phone.
No, I could have done it in the website. Remember when we went into the Zoom together?
Oh, okay, yes, I remember that.
Okay, so
No,
that's the reason why. And then I could have done it this way, and now I cannot do it. Speaker lunch. Okay, let me see. Caption.
but he was playing for me this page that he went to where it reads.
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot do it.
They have to write you a check for what they took out of the trust, which
Oh
is
yeah.
why they don't tell you, share with you all of the freedom of lending, because they don't want the car. They want what they took out of the trust. Because if let's say there was a $17,000 sticker on the car, they probably took out 30,000, and you have no idea they did that. So if you exercise rescission, according to what he read on the here we go, finance regulation, they have to give you all of that back in a check.
Yes. So this right here, if you can see my pointer, all these apply uh on how they're supposed to conduct business with you. So you guys need to read all this information. This is very, very, very
Well, they
important.
can take a screenshot and read that later if they want.
Well, I send it to to the message. It
Okay.
should be
All
there.
right.
So the other one, let me see if I can pull it up. Stop sharing. And then there's
Did you
another
share
one.
it in the Did you share it in the land patent right to travel group
I share it. I share it in the message. Um,
in the chat right here?
yeah, in the chat it says FTC staff guidance. That is
Yeah,
very.
it's not in there.
It's not in there. Let me see if I
No.
can actually
Scroll
copy it
up.
again.
It was one of the first things, Houston. Scroll up.
Yeah,
See,
I
it's
oh, look at it.
yeah.
Everything cleared. Post it again. For some reason, everything cleared.
okay. Let me post
Yeah.
it again. Can you see it now?
No, do it one more time.
Hold on. There we go. It's loading. There we go. It should be there.
There you go. It's there now. Do you see it? Do you see it,
Yeah,
Houston?
I got it. I got it.
Yes, dude. That information. That information
Federal
right there.
Trade Commission.
Information right there is very key in how these people are supposed to conduct business with you in the contracts. And once you read it, you're gonna actually realize that all the fraud they're committing into us.
Yeah,
So
you see that? See that right there where it's in parentheses? It says holder in due course rule.
exactly, hold it in due course. So there's another file. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's a definition actually.
And we
Uh,
are the holder in due course, right?
that's correct.
We're the creditor. We're the ones who do the
Okay, let's share this thing to
permissible
you.
purpose. We're the holder in due
This
course. We
got
do all of that. They have to act upon our instruct.
download.
Yeah, and then the other one I'm gonna show you right now.
I already opened it up, but I can't share it. It's giving me the option to share it with you.
This one is very also
Yeah, we need to get it on the computer.
so
The
this
printed
one is
in.
another one.
Printed.
This Ralph, this one is very you can read it right there too. It tells you the loans and the bonds, how they
PDS.
conduct bonds. They're talking about the bonds. So I don't know if Rebecca wants to read this one, so they can understand. I mean, it's out there. I'm gonna put it right now.
I don't know. He got something highlighted in green. Highlight, so he want to do color.
Everything is right here. I mean,
Ralph, Raul.
Houston,
yes.
do me a favor
Yes.
and mute for a minute while you're
Oh, I'm not.
figuring
I
that
thought
out.
oh,
That's okay. That's all right. I'm not the host, so I can't mute for you.
Oh, he needs to be muted.
hang on.
I'm muted.
Okay. So Rachel, did you have some documents you would like to share?
I do. I have actually it's about 97 pages. And it's on the public side of things, like if you want to take inquiries off your credit report, different things, but it also goes into the details of a template of different things you might want to send to finance companies, et cetera, et cetera. Really, you're going to tailor it to your own needs.
That's what Raul's been doing too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. You can go ahead and go ahead and hand me the mic, and I'll.
Okay, are you done, Raul? Can I let her
Yes.
be the host?
Yeah, sure.
Do that?
Go ahead.
Okay, I think. How do I do that? Hold on a minute.
Okay.
I'm
let
going
me figure out
to
how I do it.
I'm going to share the other documents. So I'm going to share it with them. This other document, Ralph, man, this one you should look into this one also. This is talking about the bonds and how they actually supposed to conduct business with you. How actually they're conducting business. And you're gonna see this one. This is crazy. Let me send it
Hold
to
on a
you right now.
second.
Send it to
I
everybody.
thought I hit reclaim host. Hold on a second. I thought I hit
There you go, Ralph.
Yeah.
And this is the FDIC credit card securitization. This is very very interesting.
Cool. Yeah, I'll look these over tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody should look into that one too because that is going to explain actually how these people are actually pulling out information from your social security number to your birth certificate and how they're taking all that money out. It tells you everything. It's right there.
See, with my situation,
Pages.
I don't have any credit. I've got ghost credit. I don't have no bad credit. I've got no good credit, because I pay for everything that I own. I own everything. I don't finance anything because I have my land patent.
Print this
I
out.
can't even get a mortgage on my properties. Not that I would, you know what I mean?
Well, you can get anything you feel like getting because once you read this document, you're gonna actually realize.
I feel you. I
Once
feel
you
you.
read that document, you're gonna realize how is it they're doing you business. You can actually walk into anybody that's actually selling anything like a home mortgage or whatever it is, and you're gonna realize that they're using your bond. They're using your bond as a securitization. So you're gonna see it. I found it.
Can't
Nice.
you check on the Security Exchange site? how many times let's say your bond that they created when you bought a house. Can't you go to the security exchange site and see how many times they've flipped that bond?
They flip it without looking at the website and getting to be knowledgeable on it. They charge it as soon as you go into the facility and they run your credit, they're already charging you. Once they
But every time they flip the bond, they owe you money.
yes. So once
Every time they flipped you don't owe them money. They owe you money. They owe you money.
Yes, they owe you money.
Every time they flip that bad boy.
You're not the what you call it that they put you into the debtor. You're not the debtor. You're not the debtor at all. You're the creditor. You're the grantor. So what they end up doing when they run your credit, they're getting paid. When they run they run that application, they're getting paid. When when between the banks and the guy who's doing the application, they're getting paid. Both of them, everybody's getting paid, but except you. That's the only thing.
I'm under the impression, though, the reason why you want to check on that bond, what they're actually doing is becoming a trustee. A trustee only gets like a certain percent of the transaction. They don't get what they take out of the trust. You
10%.
can't be your own trustee. They're becoming a trustee. So if you go on I got to follow up on this. Go on the securities exchange and check it. Every time it's changed hands, whatever they took out, they owe you minus their trustee fee, if I'm not mistaken. And chime in, anyone, if you think I'm wrong.
I looked into this once before, because I was thinking about, with that 1099-A thing and appointing somebody as a trustee, and if I remember right, no more than 10%.
It's negotiable. It's up to you. You can either say, I'm only going to pay 5. You can say 7. You can say 15. It's up to you and the agreement that you control and regulate and make with the trustee. It's your trust account. And what I believe the bank is doing is they're getting paid off probably way more than you realize. And then they're selling that, flipping it. And that's why I think you need to check into that on the Securities Exchange to see how much mileage that one autograph and that one promissory note is actually doing, especially when contracts are not transferable. That blows my mind. So anyway, I made Rachel the host. You want to go ahead and share, Rachel? Did we lose her?
No, I'm on here, Rebecca. You said you made me the host?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're the host. Oh, wait, hold on a minute. Let me do it again.
Okay.
Make host. There we go.
Gotcha.
Okay. You're the host. There you go.
Okay. I see. Okay. Can y'all see?
Yes, and I just want to make this announcement. This Zoom that I do, I see it as a radio station. If anyone wants to come on here and have time, it's free. Got to tell me, and because of course it's my account, and you can have a Zoom. I just ask that you please share good information. So anyway, okay.
That's what it's all about. So this this booklet here, basically to free yourself, what is included in this booklet is...
Yeah, we can't see the booklet.
It's a PDF. You don't see anything?
No.
No.
Okay, hold on one sec. I'm trying to figure out what I might be doing wrong.
So you hit that green button, right?
Ah, gotcha. Okay, my bad.
And then it's going to give you the options. Are you sharing a website, a photo?
I'm sharing a PDF with everybody. So this, okay, there we go. So basically, in this booklet, it's
There it is.
75.
There it
Look
is.
at that.
It's 75 pages, and the beauty in this is inquiry removal letters, phone script, right of rescission letter to dealership, right of rescission letter, affidavit to dealership, conditional acceptance. This is also for
Wow.
student loans, and you tailor it to your own needs. This is just a booklet, okay? And so, you know, a lot of times there's charge offs, and there's so I'm going to show you the actual.
Yeah, I just look at other ones' examples just so I can create my own. Not to copy, just to get ideas.
Yeah, because what we don't want is for everyone to send in the same thing, and then they try to figure out a way to you know,
Well, it
battle
turns
it.
it into if 300 people have the same exact document, then it turns it into a class action suit with one complaint.
Yeah,
It has to
exactly.
it has to be different in order to be in a different situation, right? You could
Yeah,
be complaining about the same thing, about the same company to the same agency, but it's got to be in your own, what do they call it? The wet ink? Your own idea, your own deal.
Your own wording.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a hot day. My brain's dead.
I know. Texas, I think it was 108 degrees. It was just crazy. So in here we have the right of rescission letter. And so basically you guys can see here. And actually, Raul, I was gonna talk with you about this. Um, this is basically just going over the right of rescission and putting all that information in, and you know, writing those letters to them, once again tailoring it to your own needs. And then sending them an affidavit of truth. They definitely did get my letter. I sent it registered mail.
Man,
And then the next day, 2 days later, my car was disabled. So I
Fuckers.
emailed them and I said, wow, I said, you guys really left me and my newborn daughter out at the doctor's office in the Texas heat. And
It's
he
so
did.
That's child endangerment.
Yeah, exactly. And someone said that they were actually supposed to notify you of doing that.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
so basically, they went ahead and admitted to it, and they hurried up and cut my vehicle back on. And I knew they had a GPS system, but I didn't know they had the kill switch installed. So that put me in a bad situation. Luckily, that was taken care of, but they automatically assumed.
Here's the thing: all the new cars, they've got kill switches, and the cops can just kill them now.
Yeah.
Did the cops do?
The cops can, yeah.
I believe it. And so my car is about almost 8 years old, so I was shocked, you know. But it did take place, but they automatically assumed that when I sent the right of rescission, I was killing the contract. That clearly states that I'm not counseling, you know, anything. It just kind of goes into what I was trying to do. So you got to be careful. You have to know what you're doing.
Did you send them the law that I gave you the last time? They're not supposed to come and pick up and repo your car either.
I don't know if you sent it to me, Raul, but you may have, and that might have been when I fell asleep with the baby.
Okay, yeah. I'll send it. I'll give it to you. And send me your email so I can actually send the documents to you.
Yeah. Let me do that right now so I don't forget.
Yeah.
So you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and attach the whole PDF into the group. Y'all just go ahead and study. Do things at your own leisure, and you know, just see what
Yeah,
you can.
I've done my own ways. I already you know, it's not that to me. I don't know. I mean, to me, since I'm kind of like I'm learning as I go too. I've been
Yeah.
doing random letters and doing some crazy stuff, man. Like they've been accepting it. They've been actually they're really pissed off on me. I'll tell you that right now. They don't like me at all.
Well,
But
once you figure people out, of course not. They
yeah,
can't manipulate people anymore. So, Rebecca and the whole group, I have a question to ask. My partner, he asked a very good question. So basically, what was your question? How does a land patent, how does it work when you are, basically in your car. Or when you're traveling, how do you address about your land patent? We weren't in a part of this group quite yet when y'all were talking about this. So how would you address that?
Well, the land patent protects all of the right-of-ways and easements. And the roads that you are on are right-of-ways and easements. Remember when this was created in 1820? They didn't have cars. They didn't foresee asphalt. They didn't have well digging equipment. And the land patent was created obviously for the betterment of man, because it is the only contract I see that gives you complete sovereignty.
So
What?
go ahead.
No, you ask what?
So you're saying it's a patent of 1820.
Yeah, but it's forever. There's no it says these terms and conditions are forever down to your
in perpetuity.
What, Ralph?
It says in perpetuity, meaning forever.
To your heirs and assigns.
Yep.
Forever.
So where would we obtain that?
You can go online, and I'm going to remind you right now, the argument can be made. And when I say that, every court case you use was an argument that was made. They went in there with evidence and they said, yeah, you know what? You're right. The argument can be made that all of the now we're starting to find out that a lot of the land is not American land like you think. Like, you can't get the land patent in Michigan because guess what? The Maumee-Ridgett Treaty, that's Indian land. When you read that treaty, I think it's also called the Treaty of Fort Meigs. And then I try to find my grandfather's land here in Southern California. I think we're looking at Guadalupe Hidalgo bullshit there. He never really owned the land. It's still the Spanish land grant. Because I can show you the evidence where it's showing all the way up to the border. It says USA. And then across that border where it has all the Spanish families, they can't get that information. I'm still doing the study on that. But anyway, the argument can be made that any land patent that you get on American land, all of the land is going to be equally protected, because it would be discrimination.
And depending on what region that your land patent is in, for which treaty you fall under. My land patent falls under the Guadalupe Hidalgo Treaty.
And that one's had some big fighting. Remember, there was 710 patents. But
my patent number is 672.
Wow. And up in your area, there's a lot of land patent land that's just 10 acres that was patented to Indians. So we had some stuff go on during the Bear Flag Revolt that they didn't teach us. So to tell you how to get the land patent, you can go to the Bureau of Land Management website, BLM GLO Records. When you get there, go ahead.
Even if y'all don't own a piece of property, just having a land patent with you gives you right of easement through all the roads and waterways.
Yes. Because nothing with the DNA can survive without water. They cannot take that away from you. All life, as we know, ends if you don't get water. And that they're not just talking about fresh water. They're talking about all water, salt water, going to the beach. Did you say 3 miles out, Ralph?
3 miles out.
So that means if you need to fish at 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's the only time you can get fish, because you're allergic to the sun or whatever, you don't have to have a reason. They can't tell you can't go on the beach and fish. The land patent protects the water too. So when you carry it in your automobile or just have it, you don't have to own land to need the land patent to say that you get to use.
Not that the pirates are going to accept it, but it's uh, it's worth putting into the court record if you have to go.
Now, how do you assign a land patent to your trust?
Well,
And turn me on to Derek, who's talking about.
I wouldn't suggest putting a land patent into a trust because the land patent is a trust. And it's one that can't be broken. A trust can be broken. A land patent cannot be. It's a treaty. It's the most powerful thing that there is.
Okay, so you put the land patent in your name and all your
Yes.
belongings go to the trust then.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes.
So you'd
Correct.
avoid probate that way.
Yes.
So
You're not buying a patent.
no. You accept the patent and under your name and then put your name and all your belongings into trust.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
And that's what Ralph, you want to share your story on how what'd you do? You flipped a grant deed, which a grant deed is just a lease, granting access, not ownership.
Well, I purchased my my property with gold, and I put my son on the grant deed with me, and I've been having problems with the county telling me that land patents are illegal and this and that, and refusing to record it. So I prayed and I prayed.
I got a form for that.
And God finally put it upon my heart to have my son quit claim the property to me for 21 silver dollars. And in the description of the real property, not real estate, real property, it's 2.35 acres in its meets and bounds as a part and parcel to original allodial land patent certificate number 672. And then in that description, and I claim it and record.
Forward. And do you put stamps on it when you did it?
No. Well,
Well, we're still playing around with stamp back. So,
yeah.
does anyone else share on this topic? Anyone need to be the host to share documents? Rachel, are you done sharing documents?
Yes, ma'am, I am. And I was gonna say something. Derek said that he has something to combat. Now, is that where you're talking about where the county, where they basically you give them that paper and they're saying you have to file?
You're breaking up. We're having a hard time hearing you. You're breaking up.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Derek said, oh, he had something for that. Did he mean like the form that you give to the county clerk when they say they refuse to file something? Is that what you meant, Derek?
Terry.
Terry, I'm sorry.
No worries. Yes. It's a form that lets them know they're violating something by not filing something.
Yep.
It's Title 18, Section 7022, I believe it is. It falls under mutilation and refusing to file. It's a 5-year felony.
Let
So
me type that in the chat so the folks know. You said Title 18. Hold on, Title 18 is a big one. A lot of your stuff comes out of 18 and 15, guys. Title 18.
And I'm dyslexic, so but I believe it's 7022. under mutilations.
Oh. So, Rebecca, you were talking about doing a quick claim deed. Now, we all know that the title companies are fraud as well. So, if I were to go down to the county, that's who they would show that, the title company holds the deed, things like that. So, is there a way around that when there's a
Well, theirs
mortgage?
is made up for one, right? Theirs is made up. Two, they violated your Fourth Amendment right with their crap. You do not have to record. Okay? And third of all,
There's no law that says you actually have to record your property. Before it was just notarized and it went in your family Bible.
Yes. And how I found that out is in the archives of San Bernardino. All right, I went down there to do my chain of titles. And Genevieve, that has worked there for 30 years, she said, now you may not be able to get what you want because you're not required to record. And then I asked her why there was stamps on these old documents. Because you have to have the stamp. Has to be backed by gold and silver. Stamps are backed by gold and silver. It's on commodity backed paper. They used to be on hemp, but I think now they're on cotton. Anyone can chime in if I'm wrong.
And you
And
have
that
to, I'm sorry.
No, you go right ahead. Go
Oh,
right ahead.
you have to cancel the stamp, writing through it, and then add your seal to it.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
red thumbprint.
And you can cancel it by putting for the consideration. Remember, everything you do has to have 4 elements: knowingly, willingly, voluntarily, and consideration. Everything has to have that. And none of the stuff has that now. These
I'm
criminals.
having a hard time trying to get rid of my driver's license.
Is that because you still need it to function?
No. I can surrender it, but they won't cancel. I already did surrender my license and got the state ID. I wouldn't have even done that, but I needed it for the passport. But now that I've got my passport, I want to surrender the whole caboodle, and they won't let me.
What you have to do is go to the DMV, directly to the DMV, or talk to somebody in there, tell them to opt you out of that information.
Hold on, Raul. Share with them that jewel that you shared with me. The signatures of the trust.
Yeah.
Now's the time to chime in with that one.
I mean, I've had so many
There should
documents.
be 6 signers of the trust. 2 seats are vacant. So when we're just dealing with Janet Yellen, I don't think that's giving us what we want. You
Okay.
also have the Secretary of Labor, the Secretary of the Social Security Administration. I
Yep.
want to think you want to go to that person because now they've hooked the Social Security card up with your driver's license and start directing. And you can find this out. Just Google the signatures of the trust, and that's going to
Yeah.
come up.
The signatures of the trust, that's correct. And
And the other one is what's the other one? The other one is the health, which I think that's who you're going to direct your letter to when you tell them that, what is it? Your mom was the grantor of your trust since she got nothing for it because she was being scammed. That's what made you the beneficiary of the trust. That you are now, they are not your guardian anymore. You are now sufficient and reliant and responsible. I think that's who you're going to direct your letter to. That particular signee of the same trust. It's not just Janet Yellen on her own. That was a little jewel that we discovered that day, huh, Raul?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, everybody thinking that that Yellen Secretary of State she's the only one. No, she's not the only one. There's other I think there's 5 or 4 of them that goes in. There's your secretaries. So they're the ones that actually you have to actually file a letter with them. And each individual has a mission.
Yeah, ones of labor. So let's talk about labor. Why are they taking the shit out of your check? That's that's not
Yeah.
mandatory. That's slavery. Slavery's over. Shouldn't she be the queen on what is considered slavery and not, since we're talking about labor?
Yeah, I just got my Form 56s all set. They're going out tomorrow.
There we go.
Now, what are those for? Would you share?
I don't have the files. I got them printed all out here, but let's see, what is this? I named Janet Yellen as the fiduciary for my all caps name. And I also have a court case going on where I named a clerk and a judge as fiduciaries on just that court case.
Awesome. Because that's what we're making our mistake. We're not being mature adults and handling our affairs.
Yep.
Now, what did Derek say? This gentleman I sent you a link to, he's a wealth of knowledge. I just love him. He's a wildcat. But he says you have to accept their oath. That puts them on the spot right there. You have to, what do they say? Appoint them the duty of taking care of your trust. Is what I listened to that video, I don't know, 7 times a day. And that's where we're amiss. We're not doing what an adult will do.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
the
I'm
system-
sending that out to Yellen and Commissioner of the IRS.
Yeah.
Yes. He talks about that too. Very good. Please share with us what happens, because that's the only way we're going to learn is by throwing
Well,
shit
I've
up on
got
the wall.
about 2 weeks and it'll either go good or I'll be sitting for a couple of years.
Well, I don't think you're gonna get sitting for a couple of years. Everybody can make mistakes, and you have to address that too.
Yeah, I didn't make a mistake. A youngster got upset because he got grounded and went to CPS and the cops and lied.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everybody makes a mistake, and then you have to let them know that that they suppose if you made a mistake to guide you to fix that issue. They cannot just. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. I mean, as long as you don't have a history of it. If you have a history, then he's gonna go like, no, you have too many histories, so we're not gonna grant you anything.
I didn't
So,
make any
Terry-
mistake.
Terry, let me
Here's the
ask you
thing,
this.
Yeah.
You said your youngster called these agencies that do not have authority, and it's none of their business to intervene between a parent and his offspring.
Correct.
And what are you doing? Can I ask you, how have you responded so far?
So far, they entered a plea for me.
They
I
can't do that.
objected. I declared my innocence. I objected. Well, we don't understand what you're saying, so we're just going to enter this. And I said, no.
No. That's child trafficking. You got to go over their head. Don't even fuck with them. At this point, you got to see this as your job. If there's someone on
That's
your
all I've
job
been
that's
doing.
harassing you, you have to go to their superior to fix it. You have to get it out of the court. Trust me, they all answer to somebody. And you have to go over. They don't have the authority to intervene. They're just trying to traffic your kid.
No, the family court, I've got no problem with. They've got no authority. It's a criminal court that I'm having trouble with.
And now-
Here's
What's the
the
crime?
thing with it.
Ask him what's the crime.
Felony
Ask him.
child abuse with intent to harm.
Okay,
That's the
hold
crime.
on a second. Did you get to take your child and have him examined by your?
No, they locked me up for 2 weeks instantly. Felony arrest, yanked me out of the house. I never gave them any jurisdiction. And a report from CPS came back as unsubstantiated, unfounded.
I'm sorry. We've been studying U.S. Marshal. I don't think we're including the U.S. Marshal as often as we need to.
Here's
Because
the
these
thing
guys are
with the
criminals. Go
sentencing.
right ahead, Ralph. Go right ahead.
It takes 3 signatures, and if you're representing yourself, you don't sign. That's why they're going to appoint an attorney for you.
They've tried.
It takes the district attorney's signature, the clerk's
judges,
signature,
and either
and
mine
your
or an
lawyer's
attorney.
signature to put you behind bars. And if you're not represented, you don't sign, they can't put you behind bars.
Yep,
Yeah,
they tried to give me attorney under the grounds of being poor. What is that? Indigency.
Indigent.
Yeah.
They can't do that.
Indigent.
So I filed affidavit of non-indigent status. I went down to my bank for
Oh.
my notary and had them sign off that I presented them with $30,000 worth of gold and silver and over $12,000 cash. I'm not indigent.
That's a fact.
Do you
So
know,
now I
are
think
you,
it's a counter.
I'm
Don't
sorry?
you think it's a countersuit, you guys? It's a countersuit of kidnapping, a criminal act. You have to go a lot higher up. They've kidnapped your child that they do not have a claim to. But
Now, you
let
know,
me ask you this. Is your kid registered in regular public school?
He is now. He was in a private Lutheran school.
What did this happen before he was registered in the school?
He was registered in the Lutheran school.
Because that public school is the big fuck you. I'm telling you right now, you're signing your kid away with that one. So if he was not signed away, these guys, these people are doing exactly what the road pirate does. He threatens to take you out of your car. They impound your car. They can't do any of that shit. But guess what?
I had 5 guns pointed at me.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. CPS only has jurisdiction on the territories of the United States, not the 50 states.
But the problem is they're still doing these things. Yeah,
No,
they're not supposed
They're going
I
to try and get
do it.
away with it any way they can.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out a way to stop them.
So this is what you do.
That guy Derek that
Yes.
that Rebecca posted, he has a whole thing on CPS and the courts and all of that. And look through his stuff and you'll find something that'll be able to help you. He's a genius.
So you're going
when
to
it comes to that stuff.
you're going to correct your letter of concern, right? That your child's being abused, that they've harmed your child. There's evidence that
No, they're accusing me.
that's their fake shit. So
I
then
know.
you're going to make all these agencies your witness. The district attorney, right? And believe it or not, it has to be your councilwoman and your councilman, because you're going to start disqualifying agencies. All right. Then you're going to go with the attorney general of the state and all of those things. And they all have to receive a copy, and they have to be on your witness list on your copy. Because what you have to do, this is a huge crime that's going on. And
It's a Class H felony. That's $2 million right there that they want to get from my trust.
So when they
Or
do
more.
that, and
Yeah.
you point out the harm that is done to the child and the everything, and keep your emotion out of it, you start disqualifying these agencies, and the big dog will take the case. They need to make sure that you have exhausted all the means to fit it to find remedy down there, because that's what we're doing with this court case in Ohio. They're trying to steal that land. So we did these letters. Holy shit, we wrote everybody. She finally found this one organization that works with the Supreme Court. They took the case. They disqualified the judge for 45 days. Then they found said that there was a flaw in the filing. She fixed the flaw and refiled it. So now they're going to have to disqualify him again. Now, if this is just the state Supreme Court. After that, it's federal and it's the marshal. Trust me, there's an agency out there that will fuck them back.
I'm hoping it's the IRS.
And you got to send it to them too, because guess what? It's a money transaction, right? It's a trust.
That's all it is. They're trying to hold me as surety.
Well, it's human trafficking. You got to send it to the OIG and send a notice to it to the Treasury. It falls under human trafficking under the executive order for crimes against humanity.
So you're just going to create one whole big thing that everyone's going to get. It's going to have the witnesses. It's going to have the letter of concern. It's going to have the remedy. It's going to have everything on it. And you'll send it out with all your witnesses. And if one of them, because it's their job to pick it up and stop it, if they don't do it, then it starts disqualifying people. We already know it's going to knock it out of the park for the councilman, the congresswoman, senator, and shit like that, but you've got to notify them. And it does seem expensive, but trust me, one of their attorneys is going to cost you way fucking more.
Yeah, I couldn't find anyone to handle a case for less than 20 grand. And the penalty for the fine is only 10 grand on my end, plus what they get from the trust.
And they're criminals, and they're not going to rule. They play golf together. You will find a remedy, because they're getting more and more of these letters from us. We are larger than people realize.
If you get a hold of Derek, and tell him your circumstances, you can set up a private consult with him, and he'll walk you right through this, man. That's what he does.
Yeah, I first came across them earlier today.
There you go.
With the link for this Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to go through his videos at all yet.
Yeah. Make some time. Go through some of his videos. His latest video will give you his contact information, and you can reach out to him that way. And with a donation or a private consult, he'll walk you right through it, man.
That'd be sweet.
Because he's been in that situation. He was in prison. So he knows the freaking game. But you're gonna have to do just like he tells you. You know what I mean?
And we all have these stories that we bring to the Zoom. I mean, Raul's got a good story where he's with his car thing that's going on. You'll like his story. Ralph, how he addressed the cop. They don't even pull him over anymore. They don't pull me over anymore. The last one that they pulled me over, I had my Form 56 and I recorded it just verbally because I had to set my phone down. And my W-4, and I asked him if he'd help me fill it out. He said, well, what are those for? Well, we're going to have the IRS
make sure you're claiming this stuff.
Well, you're an independent contractor. You are the sole person who made the decision to pull me over. There's no one sitting on your shoulder. And I had gone to Home Depot and got a private property thing and put it on my license plate. And he was on a motorcycle parked 2 feet behind me and did not even bring my license plate up, which lets you know that's the reason why he pulled me over. He tried every fucking thing to try and find something on me. And I was just laughing at him. He said, you look hungry. I said, let me see your credentials. Are you a nutritionist? I said, you obviously don't know me. He said, well, all you do is tell me your name. And I said, well, my family owns most of the restaurants in town. I can eat any time I want. I mean, they try all this crap. And when you listen to videos, they're all doing the same thing. And finally, he put his ticket book when I showed him those forms, because I wouldn't give him my driver's license. I told him I was traveling. I have made my own ID cards. I made my own because you can buy them on Vistaprint, plastic business cards. I just made an ID out of it.
So
And
Rebecca, so Rebecca, you told him that he was hungry?
no, he said, I look hungry. Have I been eating? I said, are you a qualified? Where's your credentials? I said, you
Holy
obviously don't know me. And then they try to do the psychiatric. I said, are you qualified to make that assessment?
Do I smell pot?
shit.
What? What?
Oh, that's another one they like to use. I think I smell marijuana in your vehicle. Have you been smoking?
Well, Derek tells you one on the thing. If you don't feel confident enough to do because I do, when they pull me over, I fucking laugh at them. But when I'm going somewhere and I see them and I said, God, nice costume, guys. It's not even Halloween yet. You'll be ready. But when they won't even pull me over anymore. Because that last one where I showed them the W4 and the 56,
And
they
if
don't
you
want to
guys
get out of
aren't,
it.
if you guys aren't up to date on what lingo to spit at them, just have them Mirandize you
Yes,
and then
that's what I was going to
take the
say.
fifth.
After they
Ask
do
them
that,
to give you the
I say I
Miranda.
don't understand.
Yeah, basically, you don't understand.
Oh, you mean you want a lawyer? It's like, no, I'm not giving up any
Well,
of
no,
my
he
rights.
tells you have the right to remain silent, so you're going to stay silent.
No,
That's why they
no, you
don't
don't want to stay
Mirandize you
silent.
anymore.
No, you want
That's
to
why they-
object and not consent.
Yeah. Because silence is acquiescence.
They
Yes,
got
it
no
is.
tacit agreement out of me.
Yes.
And
And so,
thankfully
I mean,
that
there's
showed
so
up
many
on the body
ways.
cams.
Huh?
I said, thankfully that was recorded on the body cams.
Well,
That
let
stuff
Houston tell you
disappears.
how lucky you're going to.
No, I've
Let's
got
let
but
copies
they
of them.
Oh,
They
no.
don't
Jerry.
have to show you that. They don't have to give you access to that body cam. Apparently,
Yes,
I
They
let's,
did under discovery.
I probably have to go back because I requested their body cams and they sent me a letter saying that under the some statute or something, some case law or something, they don't have to release that to me. So maybe I need to go back under discovery.
You can do a FOIA request. That's what you have to do, a FOIA request.
I did that.
No,
did that.
what
did
he's
that.
talking about is he did a FOIA request. He needs to go in and do it through discovery because they've charged him. That means
Yes,
now he
because
has
he's
the
got
right
the genie
for
power.
discovery.
He's got
Otherwise,
the
Okay, so I
genie
gotta
power.
they're denying him due process.
So I got to go back and get discovery.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll have to subpoena that.
But
And I
he
just
is
go right. Do I
now,
just
you guys,
do I
he
just
is
go-
now subject in a totally different crime. They're targeting him.
so do I just
Yeah.
go right to the court, clerk at the court to get that discovery?
You
What you
file
do
it
is
with the DA.
you're gonna request the discovery, isn't it, through the police department,
District attorney.
district
District
attorney,
attorney.
and then you're gonna put a notice of extension through the court because you can't do your case. That just let me say this real quick. This is why bills of attainder, and Derek talks about this, are unlawful and unconstitutional because he's accusing you. He's your judge, your jury, and they just want you to go in and pay. I'm sorry. You've got damages now. And Derek will tell you that. So you're going to now go in there and do a request with the district attorney, and then you're going to go put in an extension with the clerk for 2 months.
Yeah, I've got to
Because-
back it up some.
What?
I've got to, my court date's in 2 weeks. I need to back it up some.
Yeah, mine is 2 weeks too.
Well, take it from someone who's been into court for many different things, right? Where an attorney, when you hire them, they will ask for continuances just so they can charge you more fucking money. And it'll go on forever. So if they can do it, you can do it too. because you're representing yourself.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to dip out. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thanks
All right,
much,
Ralph.
Ralph.
Thank you
Alright.
for your input. So when you make a copy of the request to the district attorney and you file it on the court for an
I went to the
extension,
back. Uh-huh.
they've got to give it to you because you're fighting. This is your evidence for your case. And at the same time, you can start making your interrogatories. You know what interrogatories are?
Not aware of that word.
They're the questions that you ask. So you're going to submit interrogatories to your accuser, the cop. You need his full name, his real name, because you're entitled to be facing your accuser. He's the one who accused you of the bullshit crap that he pulled you over for or took your kid for. Okay?
Oh,
You
my
get to
kid
see the
volunteered.
evidence. What?
The child volunteered. The child was the one who instigated this.
I know my son pulled that shit on me too, but he didn't win.
The last thing he said to me, well, we'll just see about that.
I know
How
my
old
Told
is
kid
him
your
he had to
child?
come home.
How old is your child?
He was 13.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the perfect age.
yeah,
My son
exactly.
Robert did that to me twice, and it didn't work. And then guess what? The third time he had an interaction, he was trying to assault me with a deadly weapon. I was laughing my ass off. He was beating the shit out of my truck. So then he thought, okay, because I was laughing. It's like a 5-year-old saying they hate you because you made them clean their room. They actually think they're going to hit you and it's going to hurt. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm laughing. And so he goes, I'm going to call the cops and lie on the phone. Well, this is happening and all the people are outside of their house now watching what's going on. So, of course, they asked the witnesses, the cops asked the witness standing out on the street.
Oh, we lost you.
Well, she's yeah.
Court and to protect me. But then I had to go back into the court because they were out of their jurisdiction and I had to have it out with the judge. But still, that taught his dumbass a lesson. Let's get back to your case. That type of thing, you still have the say no matter what. They have to come up with evidence. It's just hearsay what the little fucking brat says. There has to be evidence of harm.
Yes.
Yep, they
And
took
that's
him
what
to
you
the
need.
hospital and checked them all out.
You need to
They
get
did
there.
blow up a picture of a zit and
Ooh.
added a filter to make it look like a bruise.
Ooh. But can they prove it was deadly?
Well, intentionally causing harm.
Well,
And he
that
had a
doesn't
scrape on his
qualify.
elbow that after this happened, I finally remembered I had asked him about the scrape on his arm a few days before this had happened.
And what city is this?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Oh shit.
But you
Yeah.
still are required and are entitled to the hospital file that says his life was in danger. They still have
It
to
doesn't.
prove you did it.
It
This is
shows
the-
nothing. I've got those reports.
Okay, there you go. That's your evidence.
No
I'm telling
evidence
you
of
right
harm.
now, this is a child trafficking case. And
Well,
you're going to,
thankfully, there was a neighbor, a friend of his from school that took him. So he's not in the actual system.
now, do you have experience with countersuing?
Not yet.
Countersuing will drop that deadbolt. Now, I don't know about the fee schedules, even though I had access to a couple of them. You know, I looked at the state national paperwork and stuff, but there may be something on the fee schedules about, did they say it's $1,000 an hour that they have you in captivity?
Something like that. I know the courts or the corrections system charges $1,500 a day.
So you go by their standard, and again, you will be sending a copy of that too as evidence to the IRS, to the Treasury, to the Federal Trade Commission, because these people have an EIN number. right? These are all your fucking witnesses. Are they sending you stuff in the mail?
No.
You have to file a
Notice
case.
of hearings.
You have to file a case with the district attorney because they kidnapped your kid. You're going to flip it on them. They've kidnapped their kid. This is kidnapping.
And what she's saying is true because they have to have your permission in order to take them. They cannot
They
just
can't
take
just conjure some fucking shit up.
them.
Well,
It's
right
your
now
kid.
they're using the no contact order from the criminal case as reason to keep him.
That's a phony thing too. They cannot do that. You're the guardian of that child.
Exactly. You're the parent.
I am the parent.
They
I'm the
can't
sole parent.
Have we talked to your son?
I have, like I said, the last thing I heard was May 1st when he told me, well, we'll just see about that, when I told him he had to come straight home after school.
He's
Well, then
probably
you're
he probably scared as shit right now.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, he's hating his dumbass decision he made.
Yeah, he
No,
probably
he's
is.
enjoying it. He's trying to pull the same shit at the foster home that he was trying here.
Oh really?
Oh, yeah.
Now what was it he's trying to do that you didn't want him to do that make him do this in the first place?
Well, he was putting some sodas away, spilt one or dropped the 12-pack on the floor. One of them went spraying. I told him, pick them up and check for leaks. One's leaking. He brings it with the spraying all over to me. I tell him to put it in the sink and check the rest of them. He puts the rest of them away. And then I tell him to put the one that was in the
We
sink.
didn't sign the fee schedule thing.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They're
All
just
right.
checking the fee schedule for you. Houston's is checking.
Oh, yeah.
I've
I've got
schedule.
a couple of different fee schedules. I haven't read or recorded them yet. I had to get my passport done first.
Okay. So you asked him to put it in the refrigerator.
Okay, he put the sodas away, and I told him to put the one from the sink and pour it in a cup. He could have it with dinner. And he just sat there with a stupid look on his face, made some hand gestures, but I poured it out. So I said, why'd you pour it out? You should have saved it to put in a cup. And he exploded saying, well, why don't you fucking talk so someone can understand you?
Yeah, they have a smart mouth at that age.
Well, you want to
And
know
I
what?
glanced up from across the room at the table and just looked at him. He immediately screamed no and ran into another room.
So I don't know him, but I'm going to tell you right now, these poor fucking kids, they're under so much manipulation
Oh, nonstop.
that when something small like that happens,
They don't
And
know
I'm
how to
sure-
react.
well, I
Yeah.
think he loves you. And at that very split second, he thought he may have done something to disappoint you. And that was probably the reaction. And then it's just blown because now once he starts that and now having to say he's sorry, you know what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this?
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
they
that was
process
another
that
thing that he was really upset about. He had gotten into trouble the next day at school, eating
Yeah.
in class and then chewing on his homework paper. And I told him he had to go apologize to his teacher for it. So he wasn't happy about that either.
He's just getting bombarded.
Yep.
It was just really at 13 when you're already going through hormone shit and all of the things that young guys go through when it comes to females or whatever the fuck. Should I play football? The guy was bombarded. I'm sure he is a good person.
Well,
But-
for the most part, he's a sweetheart.
If he was going to school the way that we went to school, where he had wood shop, metal shop, and these are all things that we get joy out of, you know, art, husbandry, where they let you do ROP and you could work with animals, and then he would probably be a different kid. but they're locking them up in cages with no enjoyment and just messing with their heads. And that's a shame. Now look where it's got him. And he doesn't even understand how he got there. He doesn't even know he's
All right.
being brainwashed.
All right, what were we looking for, guys, under the fee schedule? What were we looking for?
When they detain you, when they have you imprisoned,
Okay, I'm looking at one.
is there a different price for a child than there is an adult?
I don't know. I'm looking for one here that says confiscation, kidnapping of a body not a U.S. citizen. I don't see.
What we're going to be talking about here today.
I don't see the other one. Let me see here. Refusal, forcing, preventing, failure to theft. I'm not seeing the one where they have you incarcerated or something like that. Let me see here. Okay. Incarceration. 75,000 minimum per hour. No.
What?
75,000 minimum or something per hour.
Holy smokes. I'd use that one.
Incarceration per hour, 75,000 minimum.
Okay, how would I share a file to the chat?
Okay, let me go ahead and let you make you the host. I'm going to claim host real quick.
Well, before you do that, I want to make sure I know how to do it.
I'm going to show you. Do you see that green button on the bottom that says share?
Let's see.
Now, are you T?
No, he's
I'm under the bottle jockey.
Ooh, nice name.
Bartending for many years.
Okay, so now you're just going to hit that green button that says share, and then it's going to give you an option of different things that you can do to share, like either add a web link or go to your photos and documents, type of thing like that.
Cover form. Let's see. Okay, this one. And how do I share that?
You're just going to click on that.
There it is.
There you go. And
Did it work?
it's loading right now.
Not quite sure where I got. This is one of about 4 different ones I have.
The Zoom, there we go. It's called Notice of Fee Schedule.
Yes.
That you could go to jail simply for doing the right thing to keep your family safe. Don't end up behind bars just because you did.
Is that you?
The
Rachel,
other sound. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I thought someone was talking.
That's Wireman.
Somebody else was just in. No, how do I add this file to the chat?
Well, you are sharing the file.
Yeah,
You're sharing
no,
it to
I'm sharing the
everybody.
screen.
But you want it in chat?
Yeah,
What
so
you need to do-
so other
what you
people
need to
could
do
download
is-
it.
What you need to do is left click, copy, and then you put it in the chat room.
If you're on a computer, I can't do that because I'm on a tablet.
But you have to go out of there, go to your normal file, left click, copy, and then you put it in the chat room.
Okay, I think I got it. Here we can undo this screen share.
So when you are going to countersue, you're going to create your own case and file, or you're going to respond. I didn't have to file. I've done 2 countersuit cases and won them. They were beautiful. And what I did is I just sent it on the case that they opened up to go after me. And that attorney was begging, I'll stop mine if you stop yours, type thing. Because he didn't think that I knew what I was doing. He sent me all these interrogatories. These are questions on a contract that I wrote up that they were accusing me breach of contract when they were actually breaching it. I wrote the contract. And so I was going to countersue them because of their. Is it inside the chat?
Yeah, it
Let me
is.
see.
I got it.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, there we go. Okay, no, that says okay. Fee
schedule
schedule.
notice.
There we go.
And I've got one from Eugene Timothy or Timothy Eugene. I've got one from Becky Nevin. Anyone come across her site?
No.
Not yet. Oh, look at that.
We'll
That's nice. That's
share
nice.
that one in here too.
Wow.
It looks like the ones that we have. I got one already sealed in with the American Assembly with the LRO.
There we go. That's Becky Nevin's Conscientious Contracting. Lots of good info there.
And you can make your own up.
Oh,
The way
you pretty much have to. You have to author your own, otherwise it's plagiarism.
Yeah. And anytime you start business, you set the prices of what you're going to sell your stuff up.
Exactly.
You know, you're an entrepreneur in everything you do. The only time you're not an entrepreneur anymore is when they've convinced you needed a license to survive. Now they have a third party interest. You're not an entrepreneur.
You know the definition of license.
Isn't it pleading and begging for a livelihood? Permission?
No, it's
But you
permission
tell
to
me
do
what it is.
something that without the license would be illegal.
I've
But if
heard
you're
that
a living
definition.
man, a non-citizen, none of that stuff's illegal.
Well, you guys, I'm
Say
gonna
that again. Say that again, Mr. Bottleman. Please, please repeat that.
Okay, the definition of a license is something that you get to do something that would otherwise be illegal.
Okay, I know that part, but what was the second part?
Well, if you're not a citizen, you don't need a license to do these things.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you're
whoever
you're
W is, exactly.
you're saying if I'm at the same time and I go inside someone's house, the city says that it's illegal because I'm you know
Because
what
you
that
don't have a
is,
license.
right? Do you know what that is? That's what started the Vice Admiralty Court Act and the Stamp Act. Because after the Tea Party, and this is all about history, guys, after the Tea Party, England wanted to monopolize all the business, and this is just on the east side of the Mississippi. Remember, France had the west side and Spain had everything on the bottom, okay? They only wanted you buying stuff from England. So even if, like Paul Revere was a silversmith, they didn't want you buying his stuff. Or George Washington. He decided not to grow tobacco. It takes too many slaves. He didn't want to do it, so he grew grains. He didn't want you buying stuff from him because now you're a smuggler because you didn't buy from England, which makes you a tax evader because if you didn't buy from England, you weren't paying taxes either. And that's what Mr. Bottleman is talking about right now is that same shit
Bottle
still
jockey.
going on. Bottle jockey. The same shit's going on. They only want they want to monopolize. So if you're a plumber, but you're not a citizen, you're just making a livelihood. But if you claim to be a citizen and you check the little box and you didn't declare by saying, I declare on my cars all the time, I'm not a citizen. But
so now you're an employee and subject to their employee manual, otherwise known as statutes and codes.
All right, Rebecca, I'm out of here.
I don't think I am. What?
I'm out of here, Rebecca. I'm out.
All right. Good night,
Thanks, Raul.
Good
I
night.
know it's getting late. It's getting late.
Rochelle, I put my email out there. You can send me an email. All right. Good night, guys.
Good night, Raul.
So what you're saying is what they're calling illegal. to do is because you can't violate what we tell you. Have to ask permission.
Because you're a citizen, otherwise known as an employee of District of Columbia.
Which is what I want to clarify with the land patent. You cannot be sovereign unless you own land. Even though if you rent an apartment in the city, you still need a land patent for your rights to waterways, streets, easements, things like that. Okay? But you cannot be sovereign unless you do own land and your status on the land that you own is free of encumbrances. Right? Like the mortgage is fake. You need to just get rid of that. But because renting, you've got 3 contracts on you when you rent. You got the license that the landlord has through the state, right? There's one. And the agreement with the landlord himself,
Sky,
where he calls the shots, right? So that's why if you don't own land, you can't be sovereign. And then you have to learn all the things, even though you own land out there. If you're taking public utilities, you're not sovereign anymore because you've now waived your rights on your own land to their crap. So that's
You
why
can
we're going to get
discharge all the utilities and that with the coupons.
Are you talking about the remittance on the bottom?
Yes.
And I believe you do that after you've already changed your status with
Correct.
The Treasury, the IRS, and the Secretary of State, right?
Because they're double dipping out of your account.
Yeah, so you're going to Form 56 them and change your status, right?
Correct.
That's a whole nother thing that you can also hear another version of it from Derek. But there's so much information out there now compared to what there was 4 years ago. They can't stop what's coming. These criminals are going to have to go find something else to do because we're so on to them.
So who's done the coupon? Who have
the remittance coupons?
Yeah, who's done it?
That Becky Nevin site has got a couple examples. I believe there's a few on who's the long-haired guy with the glasses?
Christopher Hauser?
That's it. He's got a few examples.
But who's done it? Who's done it successfully?
There's examples on both those sites of people who have done it.
I think what you're looking for, Hustis, is has anyone that comes to the Zoom actually did it and can say it? Is that what you're asking, Hustis?
Yeah, cause my wife is saying Christopher Hauser has never done that part. They might have examples on there, but they have never really done it. Until you've done it and successfully be able to show that it's been discharged, then yeah.
I agree with you. Soon as I'm able to, if I'm not incarcerated, I'll be sharing.
Once you file that countersuit, you will not, I promise you, especially with that fee schedule. I can tell you about Tanya. Okay, Tanya, she's playing around with hers, right? She did the W-4 thing. She got a voucher back, and Hustis' wife got 2. She also went and she used the 1040 to record, not file. And she gets all her taxes back. Because you can't get these bookkeepers to stop taking shit out of your tax. And she has a union job, so she's not gonna get them to stop taking stuff out of her check.
Yeah,
So
I've got that mentioned in my explanatory statement along with my Form 56 that I want to recoup what I've paid.
Yes, because you don't have to. It's voluntary. That was a scam. Slavery's over. And why these people keep taking a job where, okay, I can see they take a job, but after the first month, when you've realized that they're taking their cut out of your check before you even get your check, and that's not a red flag. Did you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And they can file exempt on that form, right? And then they can be,
They convince you that you had to file out a W-4 when you should have been filing the W-8 BEN.
yes. And a lot of these employers won't take the W-8 because they're scared. They've been
There's
trained.
also another form that you, or a cover letter that you give them with the W-8 to explain it.
Yes.
I've got it somewhere.
Well, when you get a business license, they're really good about, crime is so organized. Sending you that packet that has the posters to put in the break room about labor laws, and which they're telling you when you can take a shit and eat, folks. I'm sorry, you got no freedom at that. And all of the other things that they need to, and then of course you're going to take a bookkeeping class where from them, where the bookkeeper is too frightened not to take the deductions out, she just won't be convinced that you don't have to pay taxes. So it's hard to get them to do that, but you need a job. And so that's what we're dealing with, is these poor kids. But anyway, hopefully that word will get out and they'll learn. You know, I think that once the owner of this, because McDonald's are franchises, send a letter to the owner of this franchise, letting them know what a scam that they're pulling.
Yeah, the courts really didn't like that I put down their Dun and Bradstreet numbers and called them out. Well, oh, this is just a bunch of nonsense. We're not even going to acknowledge it.
If you would have handed it to them on a W-9, that would have really shit their pants, wouldn't it? With the judge's name, the name
Well,
of
I've
the
got the judge
courthouse.
and the clerk of court on the Form 56 that I'm sending out tomorrow.
Very good. Very good. You know what? They can only yank your chain for so long before they realize they're fucked. Because I'm convinced when these people were doing the readmittance to not pay with the credit card or something like that, they weren't doing it correctly. Because they already took the money out of the trust, and now they're asking the vendor to then take some more money out of the trust to satisfy, but they've already taken money out of the trust. They don't give a shit about scamming you. They're frightened of the treasury. And since we weren't doing it correctly, and we didn't know it's actually a check that the bank is supposed to be, isn't that a check for your dividends?
Yeah, a different city had ordered my home to be torn down.
What?
They fined me over $12,000 because my roof needed repair, but they literally stopped me from repairing it when I was repairing it. So they condemned the house, tore it down, and about 6 months later, my mortgage is paid. They no longer had a secured interest. So 32 grand I owed on mortgage just disappeared. Says paid off.
But
Gave
you
my
don't
credit
have a
rating a bump.
house.
No, I don't.
Well, that didn't work out in your favor, did it?
Not yet. I plan on filing tort claims for lack of jurisdiction.
Well, they can't tell you how to live,
They did.
because when you read the land patent,
That wasn't
It's
under
so-
patent.
what?
I didn't have that property under patent.
That's just a technicality. All land in America that's American
It's
land,
supposed to be alloidial.
but the patent is the alloidial.
Yes, but I didn't have it at the time.
Doesn't matter. Oh, you didn't know to refer to it.
I didn't even know such a thing existed.
Okay, yeah, you didn't know to refer to it.
This was 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. I can't believe they do that shit, but they're doing that shit, and that's so wrong.
Oh, and now they supposedly foreclosed for lack of tax payment because they want to charge me 30 grand for tearing my house down.
What?
No doubt. I finally
doubt.
paid off the $12,000 to $14,000 worth of fines. And then they added the $25,000 to my tax bill to tear it down.
Really, at some point, are we supposed to be getting the U.S. Marshal involved? They can't do that.
Sheboygan, the whole county is a regular scam going where they usually roof that they run up all these fines, won't let the homeowners repair it unless it's through one of their 2 approved contractors. And then they foreclose on the property.
Let me look at something real quick. Let me look on in my stuff and see if Wisconsin is one of the target states. If I'm not mistaken, isn't that
Target for
Indian
what?
land? Is it Indian land?
No,
Give me a second.
I do have my land patent, the original one. I'm not under the patent yet.
Okay, so let me help you understand something. Just because you didn't file a document that says that the terms and conditions has now brought forward to this document, doesn't mean that that land is not protected with the land patent. They know it's protected by the land patent. It doesn't matter what name is on that document, grant deed or whatever.
They don't
The
have the authority to say anything about it.
They don't, because what they did is they tried to disguise the meets and bounds that are on that document that were created by the Survey General and witnessed by the President of the United States. Now
They did the map overlay and claimed jurisdiction to that.
and they can't do that.
Nope.
That's fraud. That is such fraud. And we
Yes,
we really do have recourse. But when you look through the land patents, right? The ones in Ohio, they were signed by Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, mine was signed by Polk.
Okay, which was a really good thing because he was the one that went after the land. After Thomas Jefferson paid the 34 or 32 men to map out, because remember, now we had the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. So now they got right on it. For the first time was able to go on the west side of the Mississippi without there being war. He paid those guys, and that was the Lewis and Clark expedition with Kit Carson, and I think Daniel Boone was involved. And they were going to map out the land all the way to the West Coast. They didn't even know what to expect. And Polk was real big on that. He actually started the war. Well, the Bear Flag Revolt was started by these 32 or 34 men in California. But when Santa Anna got involved, Polk sent an army out and they took care of Santa Anna. He was real big on that. But the point I'm making is we have land patents all the way from 1830s all the way up to the some of them are 1927, some of them are 1940. So consistently, every president has reaffirmed that the Public Land Act is still in effect. Do you follow me?
Yep.
This wasn't one president. This wasn't a fucking fluke because crazy Andrew Jackson wanted this. I have, Raoul's land patent is from Ulysses S. Grant. Even though he was a criminal, he confirmed that the Public Land Act existed. Then there's land patents from Theodore Roosevelt here in California. Mine are Calvin Coolidge. I have 2 from Calvin Coolidge and one of them from Woodrow Wilson. all these years and generations of presidents were reconfirming that the Public Land Act still exists. These people cannot deny it. It wasn't just one president that you can overlook. Do you see the power in that?
Most definite.
So
yeah,
when
I
you
just
go
looked
on,
it up. My patent goes back to 1848, the same year Wisconsin was admitted as a state.
yes. And
I posted it in the chat.
the reason why they jumped on the Public Land Act, because remember, the wars were all about the land. France wanting the land, Spain wanting the land. They're fighting each other for control over the land and for control over commerce. The minute we got the Louisiana Purchase and then Spain screwed up and they were gone, and then we got the England the right to sign the Treaty of Paris, those guys jumped on it and said, we need to do this public land thing. So, because each patent says the land belongs to America, doesn't it? There's no more fucking confusion, even though they haven't been honest, because we're starting to find that some of the land, like Michigan, maybe where you're at, is Indian land.
No, I'm definitely in Wisconsin.
Okay. So, and I'm finding out that my grandfather's land was probably controlled by the Spanish land grant. He never really owned it. So we're finding these things out. But let's say you have a number of land patents as your evidence. One from Ohio, which would be in the 1830s with Andrew Jackson, all the way over to where you find some in California to the mid 1900s. And you establish that every one of these generations of presidents reconfirms that this land is protected by the land patent. So what makes you think you have the authority to do what you're doing? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
I think the argument can be made, my friend. That's what I'm going on. I'm collecting land patents, and they all have the same terms and conditions. That means every road is connected, every body of water is protected, except for the exceptions like Washington, D.C. and stuff, which are very few of those. So tomorrow night is the land patent Zoom, and we'll be talking about all of that and what the land patent is actually saying and why you need it and how you can use it. The land patent protects your child. It says all the rights, privileges, immunities, apertures, and nature. You are the nature that they're talking about. When they ask, do you have mineral rights? They're not just talking about gold and silver.
And we're also the carbon they're trying to get rid of.
Yes, because the minerals, when your legs get cramps and stuff, it's because you're deficient on a mineral that you can only get from the soil. You have
Vinegar is real good for leg cramps.
What?
Vinegar. Eating pickles. It's real good on muscle cramps.
I'll try that. I will try that. Even though I've been eating my pickles, I don't get cramps very often, but once in a while I get them.
It's also real good if your stomach gets upset in the middle of the night. Just have some vinegar or eat a pickle after your meal.
All right. I'll try that. So let me leave you with this. If you find you need help with your countersuit to read and people help, I'll help you. I'll help you. The more people we get on the merry-go-round to fight back, then the better stance we're going to have.
Yeah, there's slowly getting to be more and more judges that will, what do they call when they leave the bench and vacate the bench because
During
they don't
the
like what they're
trial,
hearing.
During the trial right there, they'll vacate?
That's what I'm hearing. There's not many videos of it, but there are some.
Now, please explain. You mean they're relieving themselves from the case in general?
They'll get up and walk out of the courtroom.
Oh, and come back in and change the jurisdiction?
Try to, yes.
They can't. Because you're going to come in there with a copy
They
of the
can't do half of the shit they're doing. That
But if
doesn't
you-
stop them.
If you go in there and with the copy of the Constitution that you've accepted for value,
Okay, no, Rebecca, you're mentioning that Constitution, and that guy today, Derek or whatever his name was saying that we are above that Constitution. So
But-
that Constitution only restricts them. It's supposed to restrict them.
that's why you bring it in.
So we are not standing on the Constitution. The Constitution is under us.
You're right, but it's their guidelines on how they're supposed to treat us.
Right, because they are restricted to it. They're restricted by it.
But they're not. But if they would just stick to the Constitution, they wouldn't be doing the shit they're doing. That's
Yeah,
their
but they're-
guideline. Do you
but
see what I'm
that's the-
saying?
Yeah, I understand, but that's the problem. They're not going by it. So they're doing whatever they want and it's standing up because who's fighting against it? We're fighting against it, but they're doing what they feel like doing anyway.
They're claiming it's a private fiduciary subject.
Oh, because they're calling themselves a trustee. So it's a private.
They're trying to
matter.
make me a trustee. I forgot the name. It's not decent tort, but I'm a trustee that's not handling my account properly when I am the beneficiary.
Yeah, you have to tell them I'm not the trustee, I'm the beneficiary. We have to insist on that. We are not the trustee, we are the beneficiaries.
And some people are saying that they're taking the birth certificate in there.
I did that the last time.
And what
How did-
happened?
How did that go?
They wanted me to cross the bar so they could hear me. So I stood at the bar and they called for the legal fiction name to please come up and be seated. I hung the birth certificate over the bar and said, the legal fiction, well, I used the name, is here. I am the authorized agent and attorney in fact. They didn't like that at all. They started coming up, oh, this is all just nonsense. That day didn't go well either. They threw out all my motions.
Yeah, I know. And I'm going to tell you, you're not the only one that's going through all this. You will get the green card back on a registered thing and they'll say they didn't get the evidence. You will go down and file the evidence and they'll say they never got it.
Well,
I
I've
mean,
got
these
the
people are
U.S.
criminal.
Constitution and the Wisconsin Constitution and the judge's oath of office all recorded in the evidence.
And that's for the case right now that you're going through.
Yes,
So we'll have to see what that. The only thing we can do is pray for you.
I'll take it. The good Lord's kept me alive.
That's why, for me, I haven't had to go to court for a while, and I'm
Okay.
dealing with the agents on the street. And right now, I'm dealing with my county assessor. I have a stay on the matter because they keep sending me notices with the name spelled incorrectly, which means it's not you. So I keep refusing for cause, and I had these labels that I printed out that says, don't know the person, don't have power of attorney of the person, don't know how to contact the person, don't know what the content, all of that shit on there. And then I just send it back.
The only thing they've got on me is the bond that I had to sign to get released from incarceration after 10 days. And then I signed under duress and threat with the 1308. And I signed it as a beneficiary and I boxed it, the four corner rule.
Did you fill out a Form 56 and report that?
So far I've just done the one making Janet Yellen the fiduciary
okay.
and one for the court case, making the judge and the clerk fiduciaries.
So what, am I understanding you correctly? They force you to sign for a bond. That's why they were holding your body captive as a lien for the bond. So if you now fill out a Form 56 and a W-4 to have the bond audited with your affidavit. You see what I'm saying?
Affidavit. Yeah, that's something else I got to look at. Affidavit for bond.
Because they're fleecing your trust. They're holding your body collateral, which is a kidnap, in a lien for a bond for a crime they made up. I mean, they're stacking the deck with all this false crap that they're doing just to get
And
their hands on it.
$6,000 cash.
What?
$6,000.
Please explain that. What are you saying?
I had to give them $6 or $6,000 in cash to be released. The two people in front of me that had their bond hearings the same day, one was armed carjacking, signature bond. The other one was armed running a house for drugs.
Were they
$100.
guilty?
Oh, these other two people probably were.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But me, they wanted $8,000 cash.
Cash that can't be traced?
Cash. Well, I could have put it on a credit card, maybe. But I had the cash.
You got to ask Derek about that. Because I think that needs to be This is
And tomorrow morning they want to modify my bond. It's like, well, I never agreed to the first one.
modify your bond.
Yeah, they want to add some more locations. I can't go because I have a no contact order with my child. So I've got a 5-block area of the downtown that I can't go into.
I'm so in shock how arrogant. It's not their child to control.
Nope.
Think you got to charge them with kidnapping.
Both
Think you got
myself and my son.
What?
They kidnapped me and they kidnapped my son. There was
And
never
you're-
a warrant. There was never an arrest order.
And you're in Wisconsin, you said?
Yes.
Man, you need some people to go to court with you. You need some witnesses or somebody to go to court with you, some support.
Yeah. The only ones that were here were me and my son. I've got my brother to testify and fill out an affidavit that the occurrence that he claimed did not happen on the day he claimed.
Are you papered up?
Am I what?
Did you change or corrected your status?
I corrected my status. I got my card and passbook book on Friday. I no way of knowing how to check it. I only got the 4-star.
Now, what did you change your status to?
State national. Or it's worded differently in a couple of different spots. American
says
national or state national.
Have you
Does it
changed?
say American on there?
I'm sorry.
Does it say American on there?
It says country of origin USA.
That's what my passport says. It says nationality USA.
And it's got no address other than saying Wisconsin.
Well, did you change your status using an SS5FS?
Not yet.
What is
Because
that,
I'm getting
Rebecca?
ready to do what?
What is that?
an SS5 SFS, you're
Ah,
you're changing your status through the state, and you're gonna do it like Ralph did with the Form 56. If you listen to
oh,
Derek, he's gonna tell you how he did it, and it sounds right to me because if we only stay in the little city that we're at with all these fucking criminals and no one over their head in a bigger office knows what's going on, we're never going to resolve it. You have to go to the top dogs and start changing your status.
Rebecca, you said a SS4,
SS5.
An SS5 FS.
SS5FS.
Yes.
Okay, I
And
need to look that up.
this Derek guy, did I send you the link? I put the link in the chat, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm gonna check the video out later on.
He's got a lot of them. I've only listened to him to 2. What seems to work for me is when I do a lot of studying, and I'll usually bounce it off Eustis or Burdell or Tanya or all the people that were in our circle here that we exchanged notes and ideas to see if it sounds right, right? And I was talking about U.S. Marshals several weeks ago because we're dealing with this case in Ohio. They're fucking corrupt in Ohio. My God. They're not as corrupt in California as they are in Ohio and Michigan, and it sounds like Wisconsin. But we're doing this big case, and we're in the Supreme Court now of the state over this court that they're doing the same shit to her that they're doing to the bottle jockey. They're filing documents on a case that aren't her documents. She's just her dad died. She became the trustee of the state that had 3 pieces of land. They didn't have a problem with them settling out the other 2 pieces and all the other assets, but this 33 acres, they're fucking with her, and they've been fucking with the dad and the grandfather over it, trying to steal the land. So we wrote these letters and all these affidavits that, God, we've been working on it for months. And now it's in the Supreme Court. And we've already disqualified the judge once. We're going for a second round. But they gave a restraining order to keep her off her land, but letting the guy that claims he owns it or has access to it on it. And the documents that he has there's no description there's no meets and bounds, you guys. If there's no meets and bounds, it doesn't exist. No matter what they give you, a mortgage paper or a grant deed, it's going to have the original meets and bounds of the Survey General of the United States. And I don't care what they call it, APN or partial, it's going to have that because they know it's patented land. And that's the original survey. Well, he's got documents on the paper talking about land with no description on it. So what the hell are we talking about? And they're pulling the same shit as they're pulling on this guy. Only it's over land, not a kid. Well, now they got her brother in jail. Probably going to give him 12 years in prison.
Okay, technical problem. All I've got is a little square with just the one picture. I minimized the screen for a second. Now I can't.
Let me see.
Oh, there, I got it. Found it.
Okay.
I wanted to add some more to the chat, and I needed to close the window to add to it.
Yeah, you got to.
I figured it out. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. So I still have the old picture, though. Did you put a new one up?
Oh, no, I was adding to the chat.
Oh, to the chat. Okay.
I
Yeah, I
need some
see.
more
Once-
websites.
yeah, I
Do you want
see
to
it.
take the share screen down now? I think you just got to hit on the red button now.
Just a quick update, Rebecca. This LexisNexis thing that I did that Raul told me to do,
Yes.
I got a letter from them. Say thank you for your request. Thank you for your recent contact with LexisNexis, our solutions, with your request to be excluded from any list that LexisNexis provides to companies who may send your pre-screen offers of credit or insurance. we have updated your LexisNexis risk solution files to reflect your election to be opted out of future offers. And then I also did Sage Stream that he told me. He says, in addition, Sage Stream LLC is now a part of LexisNexis. And you will see this exclusion reflected in your file with Sage Stream LLC if one exists. So Sage Stream is under LexisNexis, so that's 2-in-1 that's taken care of.
And is that the one for the ticket?
No, this is the one that Raul had said. Remember, he was saying,
Yeah,
we're
but
going-
we were doing that to see if it was gonna.
oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
there are some other ones that he had mentioned I gotta do, so I gotta take off all of them.
Because they're targeting the heck out of Eustis and Fresno. My God, with the
Yeah,
speeding
they-
ticket bullshit. God. And
But you know
it's
what?
almost immediate.
I
What?
don't think it's only me. I think they're targeting other people too. I see them pulling other people over hand over fist. It's like they're doing it more and more. I see it all the time. Even today, I saw a few more there again that were pulled over. They are really targeting us out here in Fresno. I don't know why,
Greed?
but they're definitely targeting Fresno right now. It looks like.
Well, they led us to believe that their commander is telling them that they have to have so many tickets a day. That's not how it works. These are independent operators. They're headhunters. They make money off everything they do. They're independent Do you think that the city wants to keep you being responsible every time someone sues because a cop they're independent operators. That's why their car no longer says law enforcement or serve and protect.
Right, I saw it up today.
They're just like bounty hunters. That's all they are. Making up shit. They're criminals. That's why we are going to find the recipe that stops their crap. We already know that qualified immunity doesn't apply when they commit a crime. So when we start reporting the crimes, like what's going on with Mr. Bottle Jockey, he needs to do a kidnapping charge. He needs to do
Something.
a countersuit.
False imprisonment.
All of it. You need
Yeah,
to countersuit him.
They
All
had
these
no
claims-
cause.
And you need to
No
follow up with the
evidence.
district attorney. And if the district attorney doesn't take it, you go to the attorney general.
The DA's the one filing the charges.
What do you want?
So then you need to go to the attorney general, I think.
Because they can't just pick people off the street because they want money.
Is there a way to contact the attorney general?
For Wisconsin and US.
So
I need to get forms out to both of them.
how long have they had your kid?
6 months.
Wow.
You think the few little marks that they had are not gone already?
Oh, they took photos the day that it happened, and there were none. He complained that his ribs were sore. I was carrying him in like a cradle carry, and he was fighting. So yeah, my fingertips and my bicep would have made his ribs sore.
You got to subpoena those doctor checkup records.
I have them.
So
They're
you're
in the
already
record.
ahead of the game. This is your case to go over their head. Seriously, this is child trafficking. This is the shit. I can't believe the depth of this crap.
Well, they get
My God.
$3 million for getting the kid into the system. They take 1.5 mil out of each parent's the birth certificate funds.
Yeah, the certificate trust.
Thank you. And then they get the county gets 85,000 for getting them into the system. And CPS, I believe, gets, I want to say it's 180, but I think it's closer to 220,000, 100,000.
I'm telling you, the securities, you've got to, You've got to just create your one packet and start sending it because this is
Everywhere,
fraud.
yeah.
This is securities fraud. Your W-4 to the IRS. Because if you don't start nipping it in the bud, they're going to start taking kids off the fucking street. For Christ's sakes.
Oh, they are. They have been.
What do you mean?
CPS loses over 80,000 kids a year.
What?
They lose them. They don't know where they are.
They sold them into trafficking.
Pretty much.
What? What's the matter?
And that's a low number.
Sickening to me.
Wow.
So anyway, we can take this conversation up on another night if you want, because I think you still need.
Yeah, I've
For
got to get
people-
up early for a
Hey,
phone conference
in here.
for court again.
To go to court again?
Yeah, they're trying to change my bond, adding more places I can't go. Because my kid's changing school and he got himself a job.
How old is he?
He's 14 now.
And he got himself a job at 14?
Busing at Culver's.
What's the job?
Mopping the floor and cleaning tables.
Aren't their own child labor bullshit going to nail them?
I don't know.
Huh.
But I'm sure they made him fill out a W-4, which I'm going to have to rescind.
Yeah, you can't contract with a 14-year-old. These people have no regulation at all. There's not.
And
It's in their own fucking world. This is Soylent Green,
And the
right?
court's
Everybody-
using the no contact order to have the authority to make decisions for him.
They turn him into a ward of the court.
Right.
They have him under a temporary placement order
Yeah,
because I have a no contact.
you need to try and get to the attorney general, man. I would do it. I would try to make a
This
phone
is
call.
trafficking.
Try to make a phone call. Try to make an appointment to meet with the attorney general. Something.
I think
Oh.
I know why they're putting a restraining order. Your son's at the age that he can be emancipated. He can emancipate himself. He's
I
at the age
Didn't
right
think
now
he
where
could till he
can-
was 16.
What?
I thought you had to be 16.
No, you can do it at 14. He can say right now to these people that he doesn't want to be there.
Well, he has said that, but I haven't seen any paperwork or documents.
So now he's imprisoned.
Technically.
I'm telling you right now, where's the harm in contacting the U.S. Marshal? Seriously. I'm so glad I don't have kids that are young now. My kids are adults. I'm fucking so glad. I can't believe what people are going through they're just taking kids because that fucking trust fund. That trust fund has never done me any favors. It's put a target on my back. And it's put a target on your kid's back, on your back, on Houston's. They're doing all this for that fucking trust fund. And I think that changing our status has to involve something where it takes the target off your back over that damn trust fund. Because really, have you benefited from it? I buy my
haven't.
own shit. What?
I haven't.
Very few people have.
They just try to take the shit that I bought with my own money. My land, I paid cash for my land. It's patented land. There's no dwelling on it. It's not a mortgage. And I still have the original land. It said land, the original ad was a sign that says land for sale. I didn't want to lease it or anything. I wired the money, and then once they get the money, they don't give you the quick claim deed. They give you the grant deed,
Or
which
the
is the
bill of
late.
sale.
So it's all of it's a scam. We got to fight one thing at a time. It's like freedom is not free. We have to fight every step of the way because there's so many criminals out there.
Yeah, they are.
But I want to just denounce the trust. I've thought about it. Okay, a car dealership won't sell me a car. I'll buy it private, something used. I want out of that trust. Didn't even know it fucking existed. Don't need to have it. I want to take the target off my back. If you don't have that trust, they'll leave you alone. They'll put that on their information, on their database.
Oh,
You're
last time
wasting
I
your-
was able to check, I've got 133 million in that.
See, I want to be detached from it. Because they're going to keep coming after you.
I want to be
That's
able to
what they're-
use it. I got to get the UCC1 filing and put a lien against myself. So nobody else can get it until after they paid a lien.
Ralph did that, right, Rebecca?
Ralph is in the process right now of doing it.
Oh, I thought he did it already.
No, he's in the process of doing it. And Raul is talking about it. The only problem I have is I would make up my own form that is similar to UCC because you're using their artwork, which is a third-party interest now. That's what they're doing. You know that they own certain words and certain colors, right? You wouldn't think that's possible, but they own certain dialogue and verbiage, and they're charging you to use it. Like the word job is one of the things they own, right?
Yeah, the courts really don't like my signing in red. They aren't having any of it.
No, because I think they own blue and black.
Well, blue is contract, black is dead.
So a lot of people are using purple because purple is alive, right? Blood is the color.
Purple is sovereign, red is alive. And until you're fully sovereign, you shouldn't use purple.
Well, you know, I'm just saying, when you cut yourself, the blood turns red from the oxygen and it's on its way out. The blood in your body, in your veins, is bluish purple. So I say purple because purple means it's alive. Without blood, you're not alive. That's why I choose purple. They may not see it the same way I see it, but that's how I see it. Red is blood when it comes out of your body is now red. It's been contaminated and then it turns to black, right?
Okay.
When you hold your hand up to the light and the light comes through your hand, your veins are blue. The substance in it is blue purple. So that's what I go by. They may not go by that, but that's what I go by. So I'm just saying. But anyway, so does anyone have anything else to share?
Yeah, I was wondering, as far as the autographs on contracts and forms and such, the position, there's left, center, and right. The three positions has something to do with something also.
Yes. And I think I'm trying to remember.
I
think
never wrote it down.
I think center is the strongest.
I had
One
thought
of them
it was
is
the bottom right was supposed to be the strongest because there's no room to write afterward.
that might be it. I'm trying to remember it. The vendor is on the left.
That would be like contract.
So when they're having you sign something on the right, like court documents, you just reminded us that we need to be careful.
I've got my own stamp with the without prejudice, then 1308 that gets stamped, and then I give it the four corner rule. So I'm not actually signing it.
Okay. You mean you make the box right there around and then you sign inside of it?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I have rubber stamps I've had made too.
Okay.
My
I've
God.
got to get up real early and find out
Okay.
how to get on my court date. So I posted some more links of places for information. I don't know if anyone's on anymore to be checking it.
State
These don't get recorded, right?
No, we protect your rights.
Yeah. So
don't
I was
record.
just saying that then those links will be gone.
Okay, I'm going to take a just screenshot so I could type it in. So you do the state national thing?
That the legal iBus is the I'm drawing blanks on names. It's
They
late.
have some good documents in the legal.
Yep. And
I've heard
then there's
about
the
that.
state national. I'm not too fond of Anna Rice. I mean, for information, but that's about it. And then this Brandon guy on One Stupid Fuck, he's a wealth of information.
Brandon on One Stupid Fuck?
Yeah.
Is that link here?
Let's
Oh,
see.
there it is. Yeah,
It's at
yes.
11:16.
And he's YouTube?
He's YouTube and his own private site.
Okay. Maybe I'll listen to him. Right now I'm listening to Derek because he seems to be in the know himself.
Yeah, he's got the Brandon has got the contract killer course where he gives you the ideas on where to find contracts and how to get yourself out of them.
Okay.
And Becky Nevin is also along to contracting, but pretty much they're all the same information, just different ways of going about it.
Well, and it's all based, is it all based on rescission?
No,
Okay.
a lot of it is.
Yeah. Which is what people need to learn, that they have the option of rescission the minute they detect fraud, right? You could have had done
Well,
it
lack
10
of
years.
disclosure is fraud.
Yes. And you could have discovered it 10 years from now. And then you can go back in because there's no statute of limits of fraud and the clock starts when you discover it. The clock
Exactly.
starts when you discover it. So it could be 10 years from now. And so that's why I'm saying the 3-day rule doesn't really, that's only if everything's falling in line the way it's supposed to.
That's where I'm going to have to go with them tearing my house down.
I can't believe they did. They're targeting your dumb ass. I'm sorry. They're just targeting
Well,
you.
everything was fine until some contractor wanted to buy the block.
Oh, and he paid them off.
Yep. Oh, that and my property was really rough shape. I got a backhoe tractor, leveled it all out, removed a bunch of old decayed trees. Oh, now that it's fixed up, and they saw a profit.
My God. It's all about the land. We're going to have to, and they've been fighting this since the dawn of time. That's what the Treaty of Paris was all about, by the way. And here we are. That was 1873. I'm sorry, 1783. And here we are, 1819. 250 years later, we're still screwing with it. When we should have the land, it's our right to have it. You can't survive without land. Today, era diseases, most of them come from malnutrition.
Well,
if you don't
can't
own
cut-
land.
you can't find veggies or fruits that aren't injected.
You're right.
I mean, onions, they grow in the ground. Why are there injection marks on them? They can't be growth hormones. They're already done growing before they can inject them.
Well, all these people that live in the city and they think it's for convenience and because it's cool, they're stupid, aren't they? Because they're not eating real food. I mean, what you get in the store already has already been picked. The decomposure process and the fixation process starts the minute you pick it. And your body is supposed to capture, because the process of fixation, that's decomposer, it is eliminating its and sharing its nutrients with you before they die. Minerals are a living thing. Well, if it's already been picked and it's 5-6 days down the road, you're getting nothing, even if it were real food. You have to have your own land. And there's other ways around it. People like me that are going to grow stuff, people in the city will have access to it. I'll take it to the farmers markets so they can
Yeah, I
have it.
can't hit the farmer's market. That's in my no-go zone.
You certainly do have an upbeat attitude for all the shit that's happening to you. I guess at some
Oh
point.
no, I ball almost daily.
Your
For this,
story,
I've never gone more than a day without my son with me.
just over him having a bad day in hormones hitting him is why you're in this.
Yep.
Just a normal growth spurt is why you're going through this.
For the most part.
Fuck.
So what can be done to help him get out of this as quickly as possible?
We have to help him with letters, don't you think, Eustace? Or what do you think?
Yeah, but the letter's gonna take too long right now. We need something that can be instantaneous.
Well, I'll take a look at Derek's stuff tomorrow. Right now, I've got to get to sleep, otherwise I won't be awake for seeing the court.
I hear you.
tomorrow.
I'm falling
Please hang
asleep
on.
myself.
Please hang on to the link. We have Zooms every night, Monday through Thursday at 7:00. We'll always listen to your story. I don't care what
Hey.
the topic is.
No worries.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Have a good
thanks
night,
much.
everyone. Bye-bye. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
You can go.